The first match was the Street Profits against Judgment Day. And the Street Profits had, I forget his first name, but Tozawa. I think he lost his first name a while back. Tozawa was in their corner because Judgment Day, not a Balor and Priest, have Rhea and Dominic. So that's the first match. Boy, howdy. I love the Judgment Day, but again, there's nobody interesting they've worked with yet. To me, it's the same fucking, 6 people. But Tozawa ends up throwing a drink in Dominic Mysterio's face, and that distracts Finn Balor, and one of the Street Profits rolled Balor up and beat him. So now they're beating the Judgment Day already. But we said they would never have oh God, what's the time? I started saying interracial match, an intergender match in WWE, and they just had one. And now I know why they don't need to have any more. Rhea Ripley comes down the aisle and confronts Tozawa and just hauls off and nails him with the best right-handed punch that I've seen from any guy in 6 months. Just clocked him. Bam. Looked great. But then she challenged him to a fight. And here's the thing, and yes, he's 6 inches shorter than she is and 50 pounds lighter than he is to begin with, or than she is, and I don't recall watching Tozawa wrestle, but I can't believe there's anybody smaller on the roster in the WWE. But they had a match where Tozawa couldn't hit Rhea Ripley. He could like Hurricane Rana her, use momentum, you know what I'm saying, a throw or something like that, but he couldn't actually strike. But meanwhile, she could kick the shit out of him. And because of the size difference, it looked like she was beating up a Boy Scout. But it went so long because they were trying to do the contrived things where some way or another he would get a hope spot, but still not being able to strike her or slam her or whatever. So at one point she tried to give him one and he jumped up on the turnbuckles and slipped off the fucking ropes. And she tried to give him a pop-up power bomb at one point, and he jumped right over the top of her and fell face first over on the other side. Can you see this? She's going for the pop-up power bomb. As she got under his legs, he kept going up in the air. I guess she threw him so far, he was so little, he went right over her fucking head. Boom, crashed and burned. So then she tried to immediately snatch him back up for a power bomb, but now she's rushing. Both of their timing got off, and he just hung upside down because he couldn't sit all the way up. And then she held him and powered him up, and that's where the Hurricane Rana came. They were all going through all that trying to do a Hurricane Rana, and she rolled out to the floor. She was laying flat on the concrete floor, Brian. And guess what Tozawa did? He ran to hit the ropes on the far side of the ring like he was going to run back across and dive on a person laying flat on the concrete. But he turns around and hits the ropes on the far side, and Balor trips him. And then here come the Street Profits, and they do a dive on Balor and Priest. And Tozawa's comeback was basically he just kept dodging her and hitting Dominic, and then missed a splash off the top, and Rhea Ripley hit her finish 1, 2, 3. We were 30 minutes into the show at this point.